thank you so much for hanging in there with us. We might even have our theme music today. I see Ed messing around over there with
All
me.
right, there we
Hey!
go. Hey,
Yeah. Y'all know it's a party. Live
live.
Waterloo's Public Access Studio. It's Miss Rocky and Shaviva North End Update Live.
Bringing you the good stuff from a North End perspective. We see the good, we share the good, and it's making us all look good.
We want you to be the good, right? Today's guests are Lawrence Daniel and Terrance Campbell. We're going to welcome you to Friday because you know what time it is.
That's right.
Boom shakalaka! Yeah!
Okay.
Woo! And we got a
Yeah.
studio audience. If you want to join our studio audience, please join us because everybody that joins Shaviva gets a coffee cup. And
That's
we
right.
got Vicky's St. James in the audience and I think somebody else over there. And we owe them a coffee cup. Welcome, welcome, welcome
Yes.
to the best show on the internet. Shout out to our very special frequent viewers.
That's right.
Travis Ferguson, Yolanda Williams, Quentin Richardson, Big Q, Denise Brinker Foster.
Yes, James Russell,
Yeah.
Gretchen Harris Suter,
All right.
Derek Holmes, and Janice Durham.
Hey y'all, and if you're watching us live right now, hello. And if you're watching us next week, hi future.
That's right.
Yes,
Okay.
because we're on Mediacom channel 17 or 79.4 on Fridays at
That's
4
right.
o'clock and Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. And Shaviva, do you know some people set their alarm clocks to get up and watch the Boom Shakalaka
Is
show?
that right?
That's right. They stop us all the time and say, I see you on every morning on
How
Saturday.
hard was it for you to keep a straight face to say that?
I know, right? It's just, they
Okay.
stop us everywhere in the grocery store talking about Boom Shakalaka, and it's just fun.
Okay,
Right?
there you go.
Okay.
Okay, you know, folks, our talking point today is when you keep criticizing your kids,
Yes.
they don't stop loving you. They stop loving themselves.
That's right.
Somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah, because you never know. You know, we all grew up with a little criticism, and I'm telling you, it sticks with you.
Yes,
right?
indeed. Yes.
And for our Give It Air, we're going to talk about, a lot of times we talk about black culture or sometimes black history, and we always quote Nicole Hannah-Jones. And
Yes.
what is her quote, Shaviva?
She said,
What'd she say?
"If we're truly a great nation, the
truth
truth will not destroy us."
So
Right.
today we're going to tell you a little bit of truth about the school to prison pipeline. And we think that's kind of a noteworthy topic with our guests today since they deal with a lot of young people and maybe they can shed a little light on that so they can think about that a little bit and we'll put them on the spot. I'm sure they're
Absolutely.
loving hearing
Oh,
that right now, right?
for sure.
Okay.
Newsflash, our birthday people, be sure you all stick around for your shout out and song.
Yes.
We don't sing that good, but we sing real loud.
Right, we sing loud and we kind of stay on beat most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if these guys can sing. Y'all sing? No, he's like, no.
Okay.
You?
Everybody always
Oh!
says no.
I
but,
know, but what you gonna sing today?
All right.
All right, well, see, you learned something new. We do have a prize drawing today, and so you want to stick around for that because we're giving away two $10 off Zuri's tacos.
Zuri's Tacos in Cedar Falls. If
And
you have not been there,
I'm telling you.
you need to make it that way. Yeah.
And you get serenaded. Her daddy can sing.
Right, he's in a mariachi band, and he has the outfit on and everything. He's got a beautiful voice.
And he serenades you, and yeah, it's so much fun there. Okay, so we got to talk about the Soul Town right quick before we introduce our guests.
For sure.
And this, oh, you got the new one. I didn't
got
open mine yet.
Yes,
Oh,
the latest edition.
of the
Who is this? K. Dot?
Soul Town.
That's on the cover.
Who is that? K. Dot.
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So have you had a chance to look in it and read it, Shaviva?
Actually, no.
Okay, well, it's a great magazine. You know, we haven't looked at this one yet, but you can guarantee that there's a lot of good stuff in there that
Just
are all
got it.
about black and brown people and community and, you know, recipes, anything
right.
you can think of that you would like to know more about.
That's
It's in the
right.
Soul Town.
Indeed. Soulful stories illuminating community progress and inspiring positive change.
Yes, and it inspired us to have this show. So it's
Yes.
definitely worth a read. To get your copy virtual, you can go to thesoultownmagazine.com. And to buy your own copy at like a hard copy like this, you can go to Earth's Beauty Supply, which
That's
is
right.
right downtown in Waterloo, Iowa.
Okay.
Right? All right, without further ado, we get to widen the screen. Do we have comments, Diane?
One comment, Janice Durham says, hello, I'm excited for Friday Luna Day.
Oh,
TNT
All right. Hey, Janice.
is down there, and I get the chance to experience the award-winning treat. I love your show.
Oh,
Oh, thank
Janice,
you.
and we love Janice. She's a big winner a lot of times.
Mhm.
She wins our drawings all the time. Thank you. And that they're playing country and western, y'all, downtown. Did you know that?
Country and Western.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to our wonderful guest,
Yes.
Lawrence Daniel. Welcome.
And Terrance Campbell, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Well, we usually open up with our talking point, and what is it today? Oh, criticizing your kids. Now, are you guys both dads?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can probably understand, and you've been children too. You've had parents, so we know what like back in the day, my parents would tell me certain ways. Don't wear your hair like that because your forehead too big. Things like that will
Oh,
make
shoot,
you.
you know I got that one.
Yeah, and you give you a complex, growing up, or just having a negative thing to say. And and this quote says, "It doesn't make them stop loving you. It makes them stop loving themselves." And what do you think about that, Lawrence?
Wow, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of,
didn't.
it's something that I think we should all take note of, is that, and be careful what we say, especially
Right.
when we're bringing up a child. You want to
Right.
enforce them, and especially in the Black community, a lot of times we have to encourage our children beyond the point where you may think you need to encourage them, because they need
Right.
that little extra push sometimes. That's why there's Black Girl Magic, and, things
Right.
like that you have to
Yeah.
do to encourage them a little extra.
Right.
Because society could have them have a different picture of themselves.
Right.
So,
Right.
any thoughts for you, Shaviva? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, criticism is part of the love we show our kids because we want them to do the right thing. So I guess criticism within a certain bounds makes sense because you got to let people know what they're not doing correctly, what they may need to improve on. But the type of criticism that makes you, that paralyzes you to where you can't even make your next move because you think it's going to come under criticism, right? Or make you feel bad about any move you make. That's the kind of stuff we need to avoid because we need to have people who feel confident to move around in the world,
You gotta have that self-pride, and you gotta feel good about yourself before you could even have a relationship. What you think, TC?
I agree. I think that was pretty deep, deep. What's the word for that I'm looking for? The
Like
phrase?
a quote, a phrase.
Yeah, it was a deep.
maybe?
It was a deep quote.
Yeah.
I believe in positive affirmations.
Right.
Yes.
So if you're going to criticize, I think positive affirmations is the way to go to turn that criticism around. So
That's right. We have to feed into ourselves a lot of times, to make sure, because, and another quote we've talked about is comparison is the robber of joy. So don't compare yourself to anybody else, but try to be the best you that you can be.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we broke the ice a little bit. We got you thinking, right?
Yeah.
Y'all thinking,
Off the
right?
cuff, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, off the cuff, definitely. So I will say, my comments about that now that I think about it, for my son, I think we use this thing, my fraternity's called iron sharpen iron.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, that's when you have to be tough on your criticism of your child. You have those uncomfortable conversations
Oh,
with them.
yeah.
Sometimes you might feel like you're going to down them or make them feel like they're lesser, but I think that's when the uplift come in at, you kind of open and honest with them, and then you come back with the uplift. And I think that's what kind of helps draw them back in to show the love.
Yeah.
So,
And build their own confidence.
Right.
But Lord knows that juvenile stage can be real hard on a baby, right? Because
Oh,
their
for
teeth
sure.
is growing bigger than the nose and all of that. So, things like that, we really have to give them positive
Right.
affirmations. Okay. Well, our Give It Air might be deeper than that.
Oh.
But
Oh.
it's going to be something that we read. And I don't know, you guys may have a little insight on it. If you have that
For
pulled up
sure.
for
That's
Shaviva
right.
can share that with us.
Okay, we're going to be talking about the school to prison pipeline. In the United States, the School to Prison Pipeline, or SPP, also known as the School to Prison Link or Schoolhouse to Jailhouse track. It's the disproportionate tendency of minors and young adults from disadvantaged backgrounds to become incarcerated because of increasingly harsh school and municipal policies. Additionally, this is due to educational inequality in the United States. Unequal access to education in the United States results in unequal outcomes for students. And disparities in academic access among students in the United States are the result of several factors, including government policies, school choice, family wealth, parenting style, implicit bias towards the race or ethnicity of students, and the resources that are available to students and educational inequality contributes to a number of broader problems in the United States, including income inequality and increasing prison populations.
Right, so that's a lot to digest, but basically what it's saying is that marginalized students are disproportionately incarcerated and maybe even expected to do bad. We were talking earlier.
Yeah, it starts in
about-
school. It starts in school with those little things that don't seem to be a big thing, like this child is always getting reprimanded, this child is always getting suspended. Those are things that track along your educational journey, and it gets to be where people
Expect that.
that of you. And even if you haven't necessarily done anything, if certain things track you and an incident goes down, you'll be, people will be suspicious of that child because
Well,
of
but
their-
in some cases, rightfully so, because you want to know because there are some children that will cut up and just gonna be bad, right? So how do you tell? I mean, you guys in that line of work, how do you see troubled children? Can you spot them, or do they have a track record that comes to you and you think, this one's gonna be trouble, or there's nobody that you can't turn around? Is that right?
Right.
Is that how you feel about it or go into it?
Well, that's a thought you want to have. You want to be optimistic. In our job, dealing with kids that are on probation and involved in the system, you want to stay positive. We tend to kind of look at the whole picture, not just at school. So what's going on at home, how they're behaving in the community, and then also in the school, which is a huge indicator, of their respect for authority.
Yeah.
Their respect for their peers, their respect for their community. And so, and what we try to do is once we assess the situation and their families and the background information, well, we try to do what we call it case mapping. And we try to, we have this assessment we call an Iowa delinquency assessment that we actually administer. And then we use it to kind of identify the risk factors that drew them into us. And then we kind of draw our plan. We base our plan off of that.
Okay.
And so a lot of times, school is one of those barriers because it's usually they might not like school, or they might not like the kids in school, or they might not like the teachers. But then also sometimes, a lot of times they may have a diagnosis that hasn't been identified. And I know we're talking about school to prison pipeline. But we kind of look at the whole gamut of things that's what's surrounding kids' environment,
Yeah.
and then try to address that.
Right.
How can we get this kid back on track? How can we get them back involved in school,
Yeah.
getting good grades? Respecting their communities, and just doing what they need to do to become a productive citizen.
Sure.
So,
And I apologize to our viewers because I think we want you guys to introduce yourself so people know exactly who you are, because I think
Yes.
that you said that you have your own
nonprofit.
nonprofit,
So
but you work for someone else.
Juvenile
Tell
Court Services. So
everyone who you are.
So my name is Lawrence Daniel. I actually work for Juvenile Court Services. I'm in the 1st Judicial District. I'm a supervisor.
Okay.
But Uplift Foundation come in, that is a nonprofit that me and my fraternity brothers we created,
Oh.
and then we have some initiatives in the community. So
Gotcha.
so I work with juvenile delinquents, and then I am also working in the community with our youth. So.
Super duper. Okay, now that we got that done,
Okay,
your
Terrance,
turn.
please.
Say it.
Yes.
Terrance Campbell, I go by TC. I'm the chief of Juvenile Court Services. And so Lawrence and I do this every day.
Yes.
This is our day-to-day job, working with the youth in the community.
Yeah, no, you're good. But
So working with the youth in the community to answer one of your questions. So like Lawrence so eloquently said, you know, we look at a whole youth, right? Every gamut, every factor, you know, and we use the, you know, like it's layers, like an onion, right? So school is one aspect of it, right? So the school to prison pipeline thing, that's real. So there's a direct correlation between academics, school attendance, school behavior that increases the factor that if you're performing poorly in school, the risk is more highly that you'll go to prison,
sure.
right? Or
Yeah.
jail. So we try to attack some of those factors. And so what he's saying about the Iowa delinquency assessment, you know, we look at low, moderate, high youth, and then we approach them from that aspect. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So you know about, you've heard the term school to prison pipeline.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Many of our viewers may not have, so thank you for that, Shaviva. And it was a great conversation we had this morning, just talking about, you know, how as parents, you can, you know, make sure your child's not in that line, you know, to make sure that your children are getting all everything they need at home. Or,
Well,
you know, as
unfortunately,
far as
can I
their-
take it a little deeper?
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's expanded. They don't usually say school to prison pipeline anymore. They say cradle to
Cradle.
prison pipeline.
Ouch.
So they're saying from infancy up all the way through prison is what we're looking at now. So it's not just
Yeah.
school, and when you think of school, you may think of high school students, middle school, but the intervention and prevention has to start sooner.
Right,
Right.
yeah. So, okay, let's, go ahead, Shaviva.
No, I was gonna, since you were talking, Terrance, I just wanted to ask you, what is it that inspired you to get into this kind of work, as far as working with the youth to help intervene?
You know, honestly, it was my upbringing. I grew up in the projects in Illinois, Rock Island. I was born
Okay.
here, but I was raised in the Quad Cities. And all of my friends, out of my whole peer group, I was the only one that went to college. And so I
How
was,
about in your family?
I
Are
was
you the
first
Are
generation.
you?
I was first
Okay.
generation college graduate.
Kudos, that's gotta feel good.
Yes.
Yes, so, and what I'm proud of is that most of my cousins and the young ones that came up behind me, they've all went to college and they graduated and they're successful, et cetera, so.
Good.
But
And
so,
you
yeah,
were a great role model then,
I believe so. I believe I
Yeah.
kicked the door open.
All right, well, that's good.
And so just say, especially from where I came from and how I grew up, right?
Yeah.
And so, looking at all the factors that we're faced with, you know, I was aware of in high school. They say, you know, you're lucky if a milestone is making it to age 18 or age 21. A milestone is graduating high school, and so I accomplished that.
Yeah.
But I also fell victim to some statistics.
Uh-oh,
And so, you know, I was a teenage dad. I was
Oh,
coming out of high
sure.
school, had a kid on the way, so.
started out in the hole, that's what I said, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
told my son, don't start out in the hole that way, you know, you have to play catch up with those that didn't do
Right,
that,
right.
so.
And so I wanted to break some of those, you know, stigmas that were attached to us
Yeah,
through statistics, right? So, although I was going to be a teenage father and a young father, I wanted to be a present father, and mean something in my child's life and make a difference. And so, being a college graduate was important to me. And then it was just kind of my niche to fall into working with youth. And so, you know, I'm 30 years into the game. I've been part of the juvenile justice system since '94.
nice, well, we sure appreciate your work. Tell us a little bit about your job, Lawrence, and how long have you worked with young people?
Shoot, probably over 20 years as well. But my job as a supervisor now is I do have staff, the JCL juvenile court officers who actually deal with the juveniles.
Okay, so you kinda
so yeah, so I
oversee
kind of
them.
supervise them, right. So like my main job really is like programming, community involvement, and just trying to make sure that we have the resources that we need to, you know, kind of help those individuals we're talking about.
How much does rehabilitation play into what happens with the children that are, you know, in the juvenile court system? Or is that something that they can more so look forward to from you, from your,
from us. So,
Yes.
so if
Organization.
it's safe to say, you know, juvenile court services, we do try to look at it as rehabilitative as opposed to punitive. And, you know, and just recently, in the last few years, you know, we have taken a big turn, you know, with some recommendations from the Juvenile Justice Task Force. But we had to take a look at how we're engaging our youth and families in our communities and try to help and develop some programs to help intentionally divert them from our formal court system. So that's where my efforts have been this last 3-4 years.
Okay.
It's trying to do that. So
so talk about, so what you're talking about specifically now is Uplift.
yeah, Uplift Foundation.
Foundation.
So that's my nonprofit on the side. So a little plug. Right now we're sponsoring and co-hosting a Summer Youth League Academy with United Academy at Ferguson Fields Tuesdays and Thursdays, K through 4th graders. So working with them, you know, just trying to, you know, expose them in the community to different things, you know, different individuals. We have UNI football players that's officiating and coming out. Just yesterday, we had an SRO come out. I wanted to use this as an initiative to kind of build that bridge between law enforcement and the youth. And so starting at a young age, one of my initiatives is try to help expose those children to law enforcement.
Yes, and
And,
see them in a good light.
Right,
not
right.
Have them chasing.
As part of the community, and not just this person that's in here just trying to lock you up, but just really trying to.
Exactly.
But as far as my job goes, juvenile court services, right now, out of the recommendations, we have a group, a committee or a team, we call it the Authentic Engagement Family and Youth Authentic Engagement Team. I know it's a lot of words. But pretty much the premise around that is to engage, look at our system, look at the things we're doing, and how can we better engage our families and youth. So that's kind of what the premise of that program is. And so we have several initiatives that we got going on that we're trying to get started. And so, like, you know, we work on diversion, to extend our diversion programming in the community, you know, with our nonprofit organizations that's already established, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, working with some of those individuals. I mentioned the SRO, so we're actually working with the SRO, with the school resource officers now. We try to meet monthly, and just working on programs on how to engage them. And we know it was a big discussion with the school district. You know, they were torn between having SROs in the building and not having them.
Right.
Can they arrest kids in the building or not? You know, what their responsibilities are in the building. And so I think we're still looking at that policy. But right now we're working with the SROs to kind of develop a diversion program where it's what we call a pre-arrest diversion program. So as opposed to them actually approaching the kid and arresting them, they actually approaching them, engage them, and giving them opportunity to refer them to a diversion program in the community.
Instead of
arresting
Love
them,
it.
creating a record for them, you know, creating that negative stigma for the family, that sort of thing.
And the record that goes with them.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And so right now, actually what we're seeing right now is we actually, I want to say, is a reduction in the number of youth that's actually in our system.
Awesome.
That was gonna
Because
be-
of that,
yeah,
yes.
that was
my-
So it's a
next
preventative
question, yeah.
measure, which is kudos for that, because Lord knows we need all the kids out of the system that we can have.
Right,
And so how
right.
do you two work together, Terrance? I mean, do you ever
He's my
meet
boss.
in the middle?
He the boss.
Do you meet in the middle? Do you talk to each other
Oh,
about
yeah.
Oh, every day.
cases?
Oh, yeah.
And how,
Oh, yeah.
and you do problem solving together, and you work well together,
So I'm
obviously.
gonna let him answer, because really
Yeah.
he's a chief and this is his vision. So I'm just like on the
Oh.
grounds working and trying to get the going. But he gave me the blessing to kind of move forward and do these things. But it's his baby.
I love the
I'll let
way,
him speak.
you know, that you guys work together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so go
Oh,
ahead
yeah,
and talk to
he's
that.
my partner in crime.
Okay.
Literally,
No, there's
right?
no-
So,
Hopefully not.
in a good
mine,
way,
right?
in a good way. She's my partner, right? So we really right hand, left hand, and we
Right.
work in tandem together every
Love
day.
it.
So, you know, as the chief, I'm responsible for the budget,
Oh.
the contracts,
Yeah.
So yeah, I find what kind of programs we need, and then I green light it, and then I turn it over to Lawrence to like make it happen.
Okay, love it. Sounds
so-
like me and Shaniva, the way we work. Kinda, you know?
Truly, truly.
It makes a big difference when you have somebody that you trust.
By
on
the
either
time a
side.
young person, we're getting the hurry
Yeah,
up.
so-
But then by the time a young person is involved in the system, and you all intervene, how much of a turnaround do you typically see? Is it high, sort of in the middle? Depends on case by case.
It's really case by case, right? It depends. So what Lawrence is talking about with diversion is for front end youth, right? They haven't touched our system yet, and so we're seeing a high level of success in diminishing recidivism because we're diverting kids on the front end, and we're seeing like at least 85% of them don't return to us. So those are great numbers to show that it's
Excellent
been
numbers.
successful, right?
That's
When we talk
very
about deep end youth, the numbers change, and it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more effort.
What kind of youth was
Deep
it?
end,
Deep
so
end.
maybe court-involved youth,
Ooh,
right? Who's
yeah.
with us
Vintage.
formally, right? So we have what we call informal cases and formal cases.
Mm.
And so the deep end youth are usually the formal cases that go to court, that have an attorney, have a probation officer.
That's what you wanna keep them people out of your
Right.
life.
Right.
So
Right.
anybody that's listening, you don't wanna be a deep end one, right?
No, you don't.
So
But even if you make that mistake
if
and it
you do,
happens,
it happens,
we,
yeah.
we work on the premise that we can help, right?
Yeah.
And so our goal is to help and not hurt. You know, we're trying to change the stigma like, oh, they're the police, they just
Yeah.
want to punish you, they want to take you out of the home, things of that nature. We want to keep you in the community, we want you to be successful, we want you to graduate high school, we want you to plan on college. And we have initiatives to help you do that. So our program, we pay bills, we pay rent, we buy school clothes, we buy sports
we gotta
equipment.
give you guys a hand, cause I never heard of y'all, and all of a sudden you paying bills and school clothes and
Yeah.
Shaviva.
Parents
Did
need
you
a house.
know these people did all
Absolutely
that?
not, and I was getting ready to say, I'm
How
sure there
can
are a
people
lot of
get a
people
hold
who
to you?
are viewing, yes, that was.
No,
Took my
that's
whole-
what you mean.
That's right, you
That's
took
what
my
you're
words
saying.
right out of my head.
Well, let me say, qualify it. We pay bills for youth who are involved with us.
Right, of
So
course.
not the everyday
People-
parent just off the street can't come to us
People-
and be like, help.
Right.
Right, so the money is earmarked to
Of
help
course.
youth within the system and their families.
But if
Yes.
someone wants to know more about, your program, what it is you all do, to connect with you, what can they do? Who should they?
Well, they can call us. We can call us at Juvenile Court Services. Just look us up in Waterloo,
Waterloo
First District.
Juvenile Court Services, okay.
So, I mean, we're throughout all 11 counties, Northeast Iowa, all of District 1, but we're the Waterloo hub here. And our next biggest hub is Dubuque hub, but,
Okay.
so,
How did we get a hold of your nonprofit since you plugged it? Shameless
Actually,
plugs.
so actually, we do have a Facebook page, Uplift
Okay.
Foundation, so you can comment or email me, message me through that.
Uplift Foundation for that nonprofit, and that's a
Yep.
great thing that you're doing. Diane, you're standing there for a reason, no?
I was just gonna say that Amy Cass has put a lot of information in there too for people to read.
Yes, so
Okay.
Amy Cass has all your
Yes.
links in our comments for the show today, and we
Okay.
love our Amy Cass.
Yes,
Thank
shout
you,
out to
Diane.
Amy for putting
Shout
that
out.
information out there.
Yes, and now it's time for a drawing. You feeling lucky?
Always.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, all right, well, we have several people that wrote in, what is it? Oh, well, we
Got to
gotta
ring the bell, though,
Kentucky
see?
Bell, hey, drawing time. We have a lot of people that wanted to have Zuri's Tacos, Shaviva.
Okay.
So we're gonna and then so we're gonna let you draw this one, and then, oops, wait, somebody put some Kleenex in there.
Who that?
It's very sanitary, they just wipe, off our
Okay.
lenses with
Okay.
them.
Alrighty.
Yeah, pull
Okay.
out one name.
Am I supposed to take this one?
Yeah, you're gonna read that one as soon as you read this
Daniel Zilk.
one. Yes, Daniel
Daniel
Zilk.
Zilk.
Zilk,
Congratulations,
congratulations. $10 off
All right.
Zuri's Tacos, yes.
All right.
And then we have another name.
I believe this says Michelle either Wathier or Wait. Say that? Wadier. Okay.
Wadier, Michelle Wadier.
All
All
right.
right.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you too.
Yes.
Yes.
You're gonna love Zuri's Tacos. Tell them Rocky Shaviva North End Update, Diane Ebert. Okay, we already gotta plug Diane, right?
Okay, for
So
sure.
you wanna hand me that so it doesn't get lost and we
That's
have to
right.
put it
There you
in.
go.
Okay, now you guys, we told you y'all was gonna sing today, right?
Oh, I
You
didn't,
want
I
a
didn't
little
get that
time to
memo.
warm up, we'll give it to you, but it's all, yeah, we go.
Now, first we gotta greet our birthday people.
Yes, we
Yes.
got the best birthday people every week because we have
That's
the best show on the internet.
There you go.
And
Those things go together.
exactly,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we have Leroy Sisk Jr., Maurice Culpepper, Angel Stigler, hey girl, Jennifer Onebo, yes, and Loretta Manning, my classmate and friend, and Gabrielle Carter. That's some
That's
kid
my
to you.
granddaughter,
That's
yes.
right.
Okay, William Burt.
Yay,
Heather
William.
Laird, that's my niece. All
Oh,
my people up here today.
all of them.
Sherman Wise,
Lee.
Lisa Bradford,
Yes.
Oroki Rice, my cousin,
Yes.
and Jalen Jones.
Yes, and
Happy
Shabby, we
birthday.
gotta talk about William Burt. What you guys know about William?
Will Burt,
Yeah,
the barber, right?
He's the
That's
barber,
barber.
and
Okay,
he just
okay,
opened
that's my
his
guy.
new barber shop. We got to get him on the show. I just
Yes.
wanted to just put that out there. William Burt, we're looking for you. We got to get you back on the show. He's got Gray's barber shop. So
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
isn't that great?
KB.
I love it. So yeah, we're gonna sing, and we usually start the show out the birthday song out something like
Like
this.
Okay.
I'm sure you would agree
It couldn't fit more perfectly
than to have a world party.
on the day
I
you came
changed
to
keys.
be.
Happy
birthday to ya.
Happy birthday
to ya.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday to
Yeah.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Yay! Woo! That is a birthday song.
Yes.
And I must say, you
Got
can
me to
sing.
sing. You got me to sing.
So
Wow.
you like to sing. You were singing in church.
Oh yeah, I grew up singing it.
Grew up
Okay.
singing in church. How about you?
Little something, something.
Okay, yeah. Well, you guys sounded real good, and we
All
certainly
right.
appreciate your participation.
Indeed,
Geneva.
Can I say
absolutely.
happy birthday to someone too?
Yeah, I got,
Yes.
I got a shout out too. Yeah.
For sure.
Shout out my granddaughter. It's her birthday today, Maya Robbins.
All right.
Oh,
Happy
hey,
birthday,
happy
Maya.
birthday, Maya.
Yeah, I got two fraternity brothers, Gordon Jefferson
All right.
Okay.
and Kyle Bradley's. Happy birthday, brothers.
All right. Happy
Oh,
birthday,
happy
y'all.
Birthday.
Yes.
Yes. And we hope that you enjoyed that beautiful harmony we just sang for y'all. Because next week, I don't know who the guests are, but they probably won't be as good as these guys.
Of course not.
No, okay. All right. As seasoned women, we've seen and learned a lot of things. And if you're going through something tough, we've probably been through that
Oh,
already.
for sure. Yeah.
But during this life, I've learned that life may not always be easy, but it is worth living. So live it up, right?
Indeed, yes. And I've learned that your greatest contribution to the universe may not be something you do, but someone you raise.
Yes, indeed. Keep raising them children and doing what you guys do with those kids because it's so
Absolutely.
important, you know?
Yes.
You never know what impact you can have by going to college. Who knew just going to college every day would make, you know, the future generations
That's right. Making us all look good.
making us all look good.
Yes.
So we want to encourage our guests and our viewers to keep doing more stuff that makes you awesome,
That's
kind of
right. Like Lawrence
Yes.
and like Terrance.
yes,
Because
it
makes us all look good.
And until next time, we'll see you later.
That's right. Have a great weekend.
Yes, thank you.